Well, I need to get this Peterbilt over to my house so I can put that rollback bed on top of this so I can get it out of my way for right now. But got to tire off the bead, so I got it jacked up and I've got the air hose plumbed into the air tank, but went to go start it and the batteries are too low, so we got jumper cables on it. I got to air that tire up. This one's low too, so I'll put some air in it and then we can go home. Well, we got the bed unloaded from my little rollback, my little 26 footer, and we put it on this Peterbilt, and it's heavy. I mean, I could tell when I was lifting with the Gradall, I needed to have the boom in as close as I could get it so that so the back of the Gradall didn't start to lift, and it did. It started to lift. My little rollback was screaming for mercy, not because the weight itself was too much. It was just the fact of how long it is and where the weight was sitting. But handled it like a charm. All the chains stayed tight. So the plan is to finish up the Peterbilt frame stretch we got. That's priority number one. You guys will be seeing a video probably before you see this about my C4500 top kick, my crew cab Monroe conversion we're working on. But I'd like to get the 85C10 LS swap out of the shop, get it finished, get it gone, and Project Overkill is finally making its comeback. We're about to get that as soon as these things are finished up. That's going to be finished up. I want to open up all the bays in my shop so we can have a project like this in one of the bays and it doesn't hurt nearly as bad. So anyways, the old Peterbilt ran and drove really well for an old truck that needs a bunch of miscellaneous maintenance work like tires and brakes, and you know, front tires are garbage, they're out of balance, whatever. But hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of driving footage and what have you. But that's hopefully our wintertime project when we build our rollback. A friend of mine has been asking me about this truck for quite some time. He's got a really nice 9.5 foot dump bed, and he's considering putting it on. And I'm going to take it over the house so he can get a better look at it, but it's been sitting here and I think the batteries are low. And this is a really nice truck. It's a 93 12-valve Cummins, Allison 653. I think the batteries are low. Yeah. It's a 653 Allison Auto, and it's a really nice, clean truck. But he'll do it up nice. Battery jump box on here. We'll probably cut this off and this before he takes it, because he'll throw that in scrap, and I'd like to have this long hitch tube. It's really long. I'm sure I can use that on something. Jump box and Jeff, getting away from that exhaust in case it starts up. Papers, registrations. Nice one owner truck, man. Only I don't like about it's that Lucas Girling brake system. I've converted several of these to four-wheel disc and did away with that Lucas Girling. That system is for your parking brakes. It's kind of like it's a hydraulic parking brake, just like an air chamber. It takes pressure to release it, and that alarm will go on until the pressure comes up. But yeah, it takes, look at that. It takes pressure to release the brakes, and I have removed them many times because they are not great brake system. The parts are expensive. They're not hard to get. They're just expensive. And you see, you have a brake chamber there and another brake chamber here. And that big hydraulic line is what disengages it. So, you know, it is what it is. But we're going to take it over to the house. He might come and get it, so I thought I'd take it over there so you can get a better look at it. And we'll see. Otherwise, we're going to be putting a dump bed on it. And if we put a dump bed on it, we're going to remove that rear end. We'll put four-wheel disc brakes out of another truck on it and put a cable-operated parking brake. Be just fine. Such a good running truck. Been sitting since I bought it, thinking about what to do with it. Thinking about putting a crew cab on it and a little flatbed with a gooseneck. But man, I got so many trucks. I got lots of plans and just not enough time in the day, especially when I'm working on somebody else's truck. But that Peterbilt, that's the last one I'm doing for somebody. I'll finish that up in the square body C10 LS swap, and then I'm only on my trucks. I'm just gonna refuse work from now on. I'm trying to help people, and it just really hurts me. I don't mind helping some here and there, but when it turns into stuff like this, it just hurts too much. You know, I'm on month number 5 that truck has been in my shop, and I've been working on it. So I really think, if you think about it that way, we're getting close to almost half of my income for the year, you know, is on one truck that I'm going to be losing. I just can't absorb that. I don't mind helping a little bit here and there, but I just can't absorb that kind of hit. So that'll be the last one, and we'll be back on our own stuff. But let's get this old girl home. My wife's following me. Hard to beat a 12-valve. Doesn't matter what it's in. And it's a P-pump 12-valve. Well, these old trucks sure ride better when you got something on the back of it. Ugh. There's nothing but bare frame rails. good. Good old mechanical engines. Simple is reliable. Overly complicated isn't. Nice thing about this one having the MT643, most of these trucks with 12 valve we'd see come through with a AT545 Allison, and those trucks don't have a lockup converter, so there's always a RPM loss between the motor and the transmission input, and being that it never locks up, it's always creating heat, more heat than one that does lock up. So, and it being a 4-speed, AT545s are 1-to-1 ratio on the final drive, and this one is as well. But being a 643, it's 4-speed, but that lockup converter drops us a few hundred RPMs at idle, or at highway speeds, I mean. So, you know, it's very helpful. You hear the leaf spring smacking. Got some get up and go though. I think it's set at 210 horse. It might have, yeah, I think it's 210. Because most time we'll see it like 190 with an Allison AT545. But we'll look at the specs and see what it actually is when we get home. You can definitely use some front shocks. So about 55 miles an hour, about what, 2200 RPM, something like that. So I don't know what ratio it could end up being, probably a 410, somewhere around there maybe. I'm on 22.5 tires, 10R 22.5s. Yeah, right at 55 is 2200 on the nose, or 2250 on the nose. But it's got a lot more to go. You can roll into the throttle and it'll take off. There we go. I think 62 is about it. Yeah, right about 62. Alright, so it's a 210 horse P pump. So, yeah, I think that's what I thought it was. This has that Lucas Girling system, and what it is it has its own the Hydro Boost setup. You have Hydro Boost brakes, and then you have Lucas Girling parking brake and rear wheel cylinders and all that stuff. So what it is a hydraulic pump. It's separate from the power steering pump, so it has its separate hydraulic pump that feeds a Hydro Boost and the Lucas Girling system. The valve that actually controls the parking brake is right there. So when I've changed this before, basically we do away with everything from the parking brake side and just use the existing lines, because the system has 2 wheel cylinders in the back. So since it has 2 wheel cylinders in the back, there's one on this side and one on that side, they're usually the master cylinder has enough bore capacity to fill a caliper, since it already has, you know, two wheel cylinders. So it has this massive hydraulic hose and these brake chambers that are right here, and all they do is apply the brakes. You apply hydraulic pressure and it releases the rear brakes. So when we take these off, we just use 4-wheel disc brakes, and the truck that we would use it from is Hub Pilot as well, so we can get away from Bud wheels if we wanted to. But I got it over here, and I was talking with a friend of mine, and I have an International with a DT 466 and a 10-speed, and he may be interested in that one as opposed to this one, because I think he's looking for a little bit bigger horsepower and more gears. Like, I made a mistake earlier. This is a MT643, not an MT653 transmission. And the shocks I was looking at could be just that the studs loose. I don't think the shocks actually look bad, but definitely entertain the idea of tightening them up first before I replace the shocks. Someone's put brake lines on it. There's the old one still there. But pretty clean old truck. The cab, the rockers are all good. I thought it would make an excellent rollback, because the cab to axle is already set up right. And if we change this to four-wheel disc brakes, get rid of that Lucas Girling, if we build the truck, then there's still more frame back there. I could move it back just a little bit, and I could put a 21-foot rollback on here, which is far more attractive to me. 5.9 Cummins, automatic, club cab. Is that what that interior is called? Club cab interior. Oh no, custom cab. But yeah, she's a nice truck. So I don't know. If he don't take it, we may just have to. Oh, it's double frame too, which is kind of rare on a truck this light. Kind of a short frame, you know. And it's an overlay frame, it's not a full double, not a full C. But you can see there's enough back here. I could bring this back probably another 2 feet. Nope, about right here. Probably another 18 inches. So I'll measure this and see. But I don't know. It's looking like he's more interested in the International anyway, so that'll work out. I wouldn't mind building this truck. She's a daisy, wouldn't you say? Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of running around. Catch you on the next one.